Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. We've got a new piece out from Ripple, Ripple Insight series. There's actually, a piece came out towards the end of August, and I did cover it. It was titled, Why We Settle, Global Payments Should Be Fast and Cheap. And that's what's on the screen right now. And I promised, because there was to be a follow-up, and it came out, and I promised that when that follow-up came out, I would cover it. So I'm going to be going through that, and it is titled, Speed and Cost of Payments Don't Need to Be at Odds. And then towards the end of the video, I've got a piece from Cointelegraph. It's titled, Fed Chair Says Agency Monitoring Crypto But Not Developing Its Own. And I'm going to save that for the end because it's not something XRP specific. I've also got a couple tweets I'm going to share with you right up front from David Schwartz, Ripple's CTO and co-creator of the XRP ledger. Now, before we get going, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. All right, let's get rolling here. So this tweet, I rather enjoyed this. There was a tweet from Cameron Winklevoss that says, when people say they believe in cryptocurrency but aren't sure about Bitcoin, it's like saying you believe in the internet but aren't sure about TCP/IP and HTML. And of course, TCP/IP, that's the glue of the internet. It makes, because the internet is a network of networks, and that's what makes it all interoperable. And then you got HTML, hypertext markup language. I remember being a teenager and actually writing like in the code back then. There weren't these handy dandy template style, like there's Wix, websites like that where you could just you use a graphical interface and just mock up a website in short order. And I remember being about 15 years old and actually learning HTML and typing it, and it was not a lot of fun. But anyway, David Schwartz, he retweeted that, but he wrote, and I love this, you mean 1200 baud dial-up and the Gopher protocol. So he's talking about olden times, right there. And I was wondering what the Gopher protocol was, and so I just going to read the first sentence from Wikipedia. And it states, the Gopher protocol is a communications protocol designed for distributing, searching, and retrieving documents in Internet Protocol networks. So there, now you know. But I heard that from David Schwartz, and it was like, zing! I like that one too. Check out the next tweet, and this is from just this morning, about an hour ago. And my God, this seems to have gotten some traction. So XRP News Twitter account tweeted out, whatever Ripple is doing to help grow the XRP ecosystem, it's clearly not working. Ripple, please stay away. Please stay as far away from XRP as possible. We don't want your help. We want an independent digital asset for the people who agrees. And then hashtag XRP, hashtag Ripple, hashtag zero doubt. So if there's frustration out there because of price, that I can understand. But not wanting Ripple to be a part of the ecosystem, I mean, you got to understand the difference between value and price. Those are two very different things. The price will catch up with the actual value that the network is able to deliver, especially as the ecosystem is built out. And Ripple is certainly one of the reasons that, the very big reason, admittedly, that I'm confident that XRP will continue to be adopted in a very meaningful way. But anyway, David Schwartz responded to this, and he wrote, I'm afraid we're going to massively disappoint you. Meaning, of course, Ripple ain't going nowhere. They are going to continue to support the XRP ecosystem. They've got their Spring Initiative and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit like, and I am going to retweet that right now. Thank you very much, David Schwartz. And then you've got All the Way 08 who responded, LMAO. If Ripple stops building the XRP ecosystem, I'd be done with XRP, zero interest in purely speculative assets that have little use because they are slow, expensive, and ancient. And I can appreciate the sentiment there. So there we are. All right, let's hop into the new piece from Ripple now. Again, it's titled, Speed and Cost of Payments Don't Need to Be at Odds. Our previous Ripple Insights article highlights that remitters care most about reliability, speed, convenience, and cost, key elements that are inherently at odds when it comes to providing cross-border payments. Particularly, we explain that speed and cost are most at odds and that no company has been able to solve for both elements at scale. In this post, we analyze why delivering on all four elements is not an impossible task, even though it is far from easy. Decades-old infrastructure, perverse incentives, Stringent regulations and de-risking have left cross-border payments mostly free from innovation during a time when other industries are rapidly facing disruption. At Ripple, in close partnership with our customers, we are changing the status quo and providing the ability for our customers to build differentiated value propositions, offering one or all four of the elemental building blocks that consumers care about most. With Ripple, you can eliminate customer trade-offs and deliver reliability, speed, convenience, and cost for the first time. What has changed? Going 4-4-4 requires a radical shift. Something to break the trade-off between cost and speed. The novelty rests in the use of digital assets in the payment itself, given the inherent benefits of speed, cost, and scalability. One digital asset specifically built for the purpose of exchange of value is XRP. XRP solves for high-velocity, cost-efficient payments, and does so at scale. And then they've got this graphic here on the screen, and I'm sure, and even if you haven't seen this exact one before, you've seen ones like it. Now, this specific one was created on September 3rd, so it is up to date with the current metrics that are being considered here: speed, cost, and scalability. So you've got XRP, which takes 3.6 seconds per transaction with a cost of 0.0004 cents, and scalability, transactions per second, 1,500. And then you've got Bitcoin next, which, let's see here. Speed per transaction, 2,912 seconds. Indeed. That's a lot more than 3.6, is it not? Average cost per transaction, $1.65. Scalability, 32 transactions per second. Yikes. XRP already got it done. And that's why when I always think about all the Bitcoin maxis out there and praying that Layer 2 technology is going to save Bitcoin, I am so skeptical. It requires pre-funding of accounts. It requires centralization. And it doesn't even work right now. Lightning Network just doesn't work. So good luck with that. And if Lightning Network did work, then it would also work for XRP, which is a fun fact most people don't know, or if you're maxi, maybe you don't even want to admit. But anyway, Peace continues. XRP settles payments in 3 to 5 seconds instead of 3 to 5 days, regardless of where in the world it is transacted. Furthermore, XRP is borderless, trading on digital asset exchanges around the world, with balances kept on the decentralized XRP ledger, an open-source blockchain protocol that is highly effective for payments. Because these exchanges offer pools of XRP liquidity across the globe, the digital asset essentially removes the need for pre-funding accounts in destination currencies. XRP acts as a bridge currency and provides the on-demand liquidity needed to enable payments in countries around the world in near real time. The cost of pre-funding is reduced dramatically, while the speed of settlement from one fiat currency to another, with XRP in the middle, is reduced from days to seconds. Additionally, in a world experiencing an increasingly fragmented series of payment systems covering domestic and international traditional and non-traditional players and channels, XRP is interoperable. That is, when XRP is layered into the Interledger Protocol, ILP, XRP enables secure transfers between differing ledgers and creates seamless integration across systems. Think integration into domestic payment schemes for last mile payout. And what does this mean for financial institutions? Well, by enabling digital asset settlement into Ripple's existing cross-border payments infrastructure, otherwise known as RippleNet, we enable financial institutions to deliver on the 4 key elements that remitters care about most. Our modern technology allows for a highly reliable point-to-point payment between our customers. Convenience is delivered through RippleNet's hundreds of customers in our network and products servicing the largest and most active corridors in the world. Adding digital assets in the middle allows RippleNet customers to offer low-cost remittances with near-instant payments across the globe. And this is the key point here, using XRP in the middle, and that's the game changer that technologically it just was impossible prior to the advent of blockchain, and specifically XRP, of course, because that's what it's being adopted for, but it has to do with trust. Before this, the reason there is a correspondent banking system, which is a chain of bilateral banking relationships, it's purely because not everybody is going to trust everybody. You can't possibly have that many relationships with those around the world, so those that you do trust, you will just have to trust that those they trust are that makes reasonable sense to trust them. And that's how you get that chain going on. But that is what is eliminated, and that's what you cannot do without cryptocurrencies, is what you can't do without XRP. Anyway, and so the piece continues, our customers implementing this technology have built a differentiated value proposition. They are now able to offer a remittance at a lower cost than competitors while providing the speed and payout capabilities to deliver a superior customer experience. This goes a long way in building trust with the sending and receiving parties. Eliminating delays or reducing the period from which a payment is in flight solves for what could otherwise be a period of high anxiety, hoping that the payment reaches the recipient and is free from added fees or levies along the way. Very cool stuff, right? I think it's awesome. Anyway, let me hop into the next piece now here, and this is from Cointelegraph, titled, Fed Chair Says Agency Monitoring Crypto, but Not Developing Its Own. A chairman of the United States Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, said that the United States Federal Reserve is monitoring digital currencies carefully, but not working on its own at the moment. Speaking at a forum in Zurich, Switzerland on September 6th, that was yesterday, Powell addressed the issue of cryptocurrencies, arguing that central banks would likely not release their own digital currency in the near future. Powell added that cryptocurrencies raise a range of concerns, including cybersecurity issues. Quote, if you think about one currency that was for the United States, it would really need to be cyber secure, because it's one thing to be able to counterfeit paper currency, it's another thing to hack into a cyber currency and create with a computer however much of it you want. Then the piece continues. When asked about Facebook's forthcoming Libra stablecoin, Powell said that the project would need to comply with higher standards and regulatory and supervisory expectations, specifically due to the social media company's large user base. Powell added that it is not clear how this would happen under the current regulatory system. Powell thus reiterated his previous statement on Libra, which when he indicated that it needs to reach a high bar before the cryptocurrency project can succeed. He said that the Federal Reserve does not have plenty of authority over cryptocurrencies as such, though he claims the Fed still has significant input into the payment system. So, from a regulatory perspective, I don't even know if Libra's ever going to get launched here. It's a white paper, and maybe that's all it will ever be. But as far as the idea of central banks launching their own cryptocurrencies, to what end? What's the purpose of that? What do you gain from that? I mean, I don't see too much of a point in doing that. Because if you consider what the United States dollar already is. It already is a digital currency. It's just not a cryptocurrency. It's debited and credited and ledgers across the world, and sure it requires trust, but what types of problems would you be solving if you turn that into a cryptocurrency? Makes me wonder. But always curious about what you guys think. Feel free to drop comments below. That's it for this video, though. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!